Hey, everybody, this is Patti. Welcome to the witching hour. Yes, the hour of the day when the veil is thin and magic happens. I have some fun and beautiful, very mystical magic for you today. He is my new friend who I met just a month or two ago, and I fell in love with him he is an evidential medium. He's a spiritual teacher. He's a speaker. He's a psychic medium. Meet Travis Holt. Welcome so much. Thank you.
Hey, Patty, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Travis. So anyway, for anybody who doesn't know you yet, they will begin. You are out there and you are doing it. And let's start out with you have a new book out. Tell us about that.
I do. I'm so excited. I wrote my very first book, and it's called Are You There, Spirit? It's me, Travis. And I'm so excited to put this out into the world. It shares a lot of stories about client readings, but also my own journey as a medium and finding my own path into this super magical life, and also cover some of the healing that I had to do to be able to show up and do this work publicly. So it was a manifested moment for sure. The week that we were pitching the book, my book agent and I, to publishers, I got a package from my mom in the mail, and it was this big envelope, and she was in the middle of moving, and so she holds on to documents. She's a document hoarder
Mhm.
and former business owner, so she, they keep all their documents, my mom and dad. And I get this package from her, and I open it up, and it's a manuscript that I wrote when I was like 11. And on top of it was the sweetest note. And it says, "Hey, my name is Ty." I wanted to go by Ty. "My name is Ty Holp, and would you please publish my book? I'm 11 years old." It was the sweetest letter. And then, in true like Travis fashion, in the bottom, there was a note in Sharpie that said, "Please excuse the spelling mistakes. I already printed the book and it was too late." Uh, so that letter came the week that we were kind of pitching my book, and so it's just this wonderful synchronistic moment from.
Oh, that is beautiful. So how did your journey into the spiritual realm go? Have you always known you were gifted, that you were special? Is this something you developed later?
Yeah, it's something I didn't connect with until a little bit later. But growing up, my granny and we would use the Ouija board to connect with our loved ones. And I would be about 6 years old. And, I thought everybody did that with their grandparents. Apparently not. And we would use the Ouija board to just connect. And I never thought it was like weird or different or abnormal until I told my parents that, "Hey, Granny and I do this, or I feel like I have this connection." And, they kind of scared it out of me a little bit. They were like, "This is the devil, this is demons." And that's not necessarily true. But, so I suppressed that part of myself for a long time. And it wasn't until I went to my first psychic where I sat down, and she, just starts describing all of these things that have happened throughout my life, kind of just knowing things or feeling the energy of places when I go somewhere, or being able to pick up messages from those that are no longer in a physical body that I thought everybody did, Patty. Like, I thought everybody did that. I was like, what do you mean not everybody walks into a building and can get like an impression of what maybe went on there, or, and so she validated all these things for me. And I was like, what do I do with that? And she goes, well, just meditate and it'll come, like that answer that just drives you nuts.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But I did, and it did happen. So, now here we are some time later, and I feel so grateful that I think a lot of people are called, but very few answer. And I just feel grateful that I answered the call to step into this.
Me too. And what you bring to the world is so fun. It is so light. Anybody you have to follow you and like him. I mean, like, if you don't like the word medium, I'm your gray angle. I'm all these beautiful things. You just make it like, oh, Oh, a very approachable, very accessible and thing. It's
Oh, thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. I love this work so much, and I'm so passionate about it. I mean, right? Like, I think it's just to see someone transform, or to see someone release the grief that they were holding on to, or release the guilt, or whatever it was, right? Just to see someone be able to feel a little bit lighter and invite that light into their hearts, it's so fulfilling for me.
That's you yeah. It is, when it's a calling, it is a calling, I know from experience. So tell us what is, and I see it behind your head there a little bit, warrior unicorn. That it's number 2. What
Yeah.
warrior unicorn?
Warrior Unicorn was a Instagram screen name that I came up with for myself back in 2017. And, unicorns started finding me, as as they do when it's time. I was dating this guy, and we only went on like 2 dates, but on our 2nd date, he brought me a tank top that he purchased, and it was a unicorn. It had a unicorn head on it. And I was like, "Why did you buy me this tank top?" I'd never owned anything unicorn before, nothing. And he goes, "It just reminded me of you." And I was like, "Thanks." And then people started gifting me unicorn things. And, that magic of unicorns has always just, from that moment, like that magic just kind of resonated with me. So I started looking things up. I was like, what's the spiritual meaning of a unicorn? I have no idea what this means. But then I started reading into it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this totally makes sense for me. And then the warrior in front of it is from the song by Scandal and Patti Smith, The Warrior. And it's about keeping your heart open, and going out into the world with an open heart, even if life has been tough.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like a personal anthem of mine. So I just put the two together. Warrior Unicorn.
I love it. It's perfect, actually. It really is. You found you found your brand, you found your calling. Um, so since you've done this, do you have specific, teachers or mentors you've worked with? Have you been self-taught and developed?
I feel so grateful. When I started on this path, I was like, well, I need a mentor. And then I found one. And then I feel like I've had so many different teachers, even teachers maybe that I haven't worked with directly, but I listen to their stuff,
Mhm.
or I follow their work. They're people that mentored me that I have no idea they mentored me.
Right.
Um, and working closely with my spirit guides and my team in spirit as well. So both. I think the thing that has been so valuable for me, and working with teachers or mentors, is kind of learning about the things that they did that maybe like burnt them out, or the things that maybe they like that they wish that they were told when they first started on this journey. So that's been so helpful. And then, I'm a Virgo. I love a book. I love a class. I'm curious by nature. So, all these books behind me, they're spiritual books, and I have a whole bunch of shelves downstairs with them. And I'm always diving into reading. I feel like I'm a student of the universe always.
I get that. I love it. It's interesting you went right to burnout. How do you, again, because you're out there, you're working it, you tour, you do all that stuff that we do. How do you keep yourself protected or balanced? Is that hard for you?
Yeah, because I want to give, and I want to give so much of my energy. And I'm just now, Patty, after like 5 years of doing this professionally, just now learning that like my nervous system or my body will tell me when it's had enough. And just because I want to go do it doesn't mean that we need to go do it. And so I'm learning. I mean, I would love to know, like, what tips do you have for burnout? I'm all ears.
Yeah, well, the same thing. It is listening to your body because your body will tell you, and if you don't listen, it's going to shut you down anyway. Um, but to me, is nature. I get out in nature every day. First thing in the morning, I work out outdoors. I walk outdoors, and that keeps me grounded and helps me. And then if I walk into an insane 20-hour day, I work all day, work all night, work all evening, do an event, get home. That set me up. That's really I highly recommend that.
I've
And
taken your advice. We had a session together, and it was fabulous, and I still, like, cherish it, and I look back on the notes, and
Oh,
I've been trying to be more conscious of that, of going out and, like, I think you told me to, like, literally hug a tree, and I've got a tree right next to where I live, and I touch it. I'm like, "Thank you so much." There's a really cool exercise that they teach in a mediumship development school, if you will. I've taken some classes at the Arthur Findlay College in the UK,
great school.
and yeah, so cool. If folks aren't familiar with what that is, they align with like old school spiritualism. So like with mediumship, it's like you better be digging up the social security number of the person you're talking to. I don't work that specifically, but I respect that structure. I like it because I think it gives you a good structure. And then once you kind of learn, you do your own thing. But um, they teach this great exercise called sitting in the power, which is just it helps you just to expand out your own personal power and blend it with the universe. So you're not relying on your own energy source. You're kind of like plugging your phone into the charger. So I do that. Like I do that a couple of times a week. I don't do it every day, but I do that a couple times a day. Then coupled with what you told me to do. So the burnout is getting better. I am happy to report it's getting a lot better. But
Good.
yeah, I think when you're passionate about something and you love something so much, like I love this work so much, and I know you do too. It's
I
like
do.
I'll do it all day unless I stop myself.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, when you love, and everybody should do what you love what you do. Whatever that is, you'll
Yeah.
find it. Uh, so how do you're an evidential medium and you kind of where that, so you get the evidence. Do you do trance mediumship as well, or do you pretty much stay with just reporting it?
Yeah. Haven't tried trance mediumship yet, but it keeps coming up into my awareness. I'm going to take this as
I
another
see it.
avenue to study it.
No, I
And
do it. But you could do it too. Yeah.
oh, oh yeah. I stick mostly with for now just the providing evidence of life after this life. So that's where I'm at now in my work. I could definitely I'm fascinated by trance. I love watching people do trance mediumship. I'm the type of individual I love watching other mediums work. I just sit there and like my eyes are all big and wide open and I'm just looking at them so lovingly because I think it's such a beautiful craft and art form. But for now, my work is mostly just focused on that, sharing that validation of light continuation.
Right, and it's beautiful, and the other's not needed because it is all about the information and the solace and what all the thing whatever the people are looking for. Um, it's beautiful. When when you're doing, because you do group readings and stuff like I do, like galleries and things,
Yeah.
how do you get overwhelmed sometimes, like, on a big group? Do you line them up? Like, you do have message you have all the clairvoyant, clairsentient, this coming in. I have to, like, line the ghosts up you stay with your people.
You stop overwhelming me, damn it. I'm with you though. You know what? The first couple of times, so like I wasn't trained in platform or gallery reading. It was just an opportunity to do an event with this amazing spiritual organization or spiritual community rather in Denver called Awkwardly Zen. They were like, "Do you want to do a small, intimate group reading of like 30 or 40 people at this distillery called Devil's Head Distillery?" And I was like, "That sounds so fun. Like, why not?" Only had done private readings and then like two Zoom groups.
Right.
And so the first time I went to go do platform, I got on my ass, Patty. I got on stage and it was just like a tidal wave of energy hit me. And it took me 20 minutes to like get it together and to kind of just like calibrate my energy. I recently did another live show in Denver and someone that was at that very first show came to the show and they come up to me and they didn't mean anything ill by this at all. They were being very sweet and very funny. They would go, "God, that was way better than the first time you did it." And I was like, "No."
That's funny.
But
Yeah, we learn as we go.
right? There's no like I don't know, there's no like, okay, once you've done this, then you do this or this. There's no like structure to it. It's just kind of
No,
like, yeah, here's what it is.
No, and we each every one of us works so different. We have our own languaging with spirit, we
Yes.
have our own way we connect with spirit, we have our own, um yeah. I remember my first big one was at, Michigan Paracon, which you have a 1,200 seat theater. And I wasn't quite 1,200, but it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds because I literally, my first one out, replaced Chip Coffee. I'm like, "Those are big." He's old guard, that's big shoes to fill. I'm like, "They're all gonna want their money back," but they didn't, and he added some people, but that's that first time, and was that the time that Cindy, yeah, and they had it all, and you know how you have a mic runner going through there?
Mhm.
They had this professional stage and the thing, but they forgot the mic runner. So Cindy Kaza, who's a evidential
Yeah.
medium who I respect and love and look up to, she said she'd be my mic runner. I'm like, "Oh, damn." No,
Cindy's a
I'm
friend of mine.
serious.
I love Cindy so much.
I
I didn't
love
realize that you knew Cindy.
Yeah, she was my mic runner at my first and then I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it for you tomorrow." So I did it for her, and that girl's got guts and balls, she's great, I love her. Um, I do because she was, like, talking to somebody, and you know how we all have our own language again, "You're so approachable and this, and I'm Mr. Nice Guy," but and she was like talking to somebody and she's like, "No, you do know this." "No, I don't." "Yes, you do." She insisted, insisted, insisted until they remembered and got to it. It's like, wow, I probably would have backed down somewhere, but she didn't. I was so impressed with her.
Well, you have to do that though, because people forget. Like
I
they forget their family members. Like something happens in a live event where like you just get psychic amnesia
Yeah,
and you forget like your entire family. I had a woman who I was reading for, and I was like, honey, like they keep giving me this name. It's like a Sharon or a Cheryl. And she was like, no, that I don't know who that is. And her friend was like, that's your name. And And I'm sure you've had those experiences
yeah,
too.
a million times. I call it like amnesia. I call it psychic amnesia or saying, in 3 days, you will remember, oh, that giraffe. Oh, that Grandpa Bob. Yeah.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
yeah. So yeah, she is great. So Mutual Admiration Society. Do you do a thing do you ground yourself afterwards on things? Do you do techniques that you do? I'm all about salt and iron, but
Oh, what do you do with salt and iron?
I eat salt and I touch iron. It could be a little iron cauldron, it could be an iron rail, it could be an old iron trash can outside of the building. It'll bring you back down really fast.
You do?
Mhm.
With the salt, do you mix it in any water or do you just
Yeah.
put it in your mouth?
You put it in your mouth or you eat a pretzel or you eat a potato chip or
That's so interesting because after a show, I always crave salty food.
yeah, that's your body wants it.
Like I always need like something salty afterward.
When I just did a seance the other day, both for seances, my spiritualist style is I always learned you give somebody something sweet beforehand, like tea or sugar. I think it's really about blood sugar. Your blood sugar rises, so your alertness. Because I want the veil, I want everybody to see what I'm saying. So I always give them grapes or cookies beforehand, and then salt afterwards. I pass out the pretzels afterwards, and I tell them you're going to have extra good dreams. We went there, you know.
I love that. No,
Food
because
before and salt after.
I just like shove a double cheeseburger down my throat,
Yeah,
but maybe I'll try salt.
that's all. We know that.
No,
I
I do. I take a couple of deep breaths usually when I get off stage. And I always give gratitude first. It's like the very first thing I do is just thank you so much for the beautiful messages. And then but I'm gonna try the salt and touching iron. That sounds
yeah,
amazing.
really work, and again, there's a lot of iron rails and things. I have those little tiny iron cauldrons I hold. I'll even pass it around if there's a group and we've really lifted the veil the way I work. It's crazy. So how do you use I mean, we all have different tiles of tip. I always call it lifting the veil and the veil. Do you see the veil that division between our world and their world? Do you see it as a boundary, a filter, or
I think of
or
it as like a
not?
frequency. I think of it as like an energetic frequency. It's kind of like I think for me, it's not necessarily perhaps something like physical versus just an energetic kind of state. So for me, it's And I know they're always there. That's the thing. I know they're always there. So for me, it's just what do I need to get out of the way from my stuff
Yeah.
to help me to just raise my vibration a little bit to be able to kind of meet them, right? So for me, it's just like I like to think of it as like a radio and just like, I'm just gonna tune the dial to, different frequencies. So for me,
Right.
that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that frequency because to me, it is vibration, which vibration is frequency, energetic is frequency. So I like that frequency.
and I think like raising the veil or like other things, I think it's all saying the same thing, right?
Ye
Like same thing as frequency. It's just a different way of kind of thinking about it. For me, the frequency thing works. I think, but for other people, like maybe a curtain opening could could work, right? These little complex 4 pounds of electric tofu between our ears. It's like we got to do the magic thing to make it do what we need it to do, right? I'm reading a whole book about the subconscious and it's written by a spiritualist and it's like it's interesting, like the song and dance that we have to do to impregnate our subconscious mind with what we want it to think or to feel and how suggestible it is. So I think, yeah, I think that's so interesting on how thinking about something differently can help you access what you're
Yeah, and depending on your space, again, if you're in this little group or this, it's like templates to me, templates you put on top. The kind of group, if it's a more of a woo-woo-y group or a less of a woo-y, it's all woo-woo, but, uh,
yeah.
so how do you I just love having other me, especially you, because I do respect you and your work, and I watch you
Oh
all
my
the
god,
time.
I'm a huge fan of you. Like I watch your videos and I don't know, I have such like love and adoration for you. So I'm excited to and I love talking to other mediums too and like picking their brain and
You too.
knowing
Me
what they do. I bought your book. I have your book and that's
thank
one of my favorite tools and resources to use
Oh,
sometimes. You
thank
did
you.
give me an inner child exercise to do that I had never thought of or heard of and
How'd
uh
that
it was the one of getting in the back in
Yeah,
the bath.
the white bath, salt, sugar, milk.
Yeah, I did that. It was so beautiful. So I love getting the other like the tips and the other things from other practitioners, but that was a beautiful exercise and that
Thank you. Yeah, me
glad
too.
you
That's
shared it.
old. The white bath is old Southern conjure. It's old Southern folk magic conjure. Salt for cleansing, sugar for sweetness, milk for nurturing. The best dollar bath you've ever had. And then I think I told you something about bringing in your kid and listening, not remembering.
Yes.
I think because that's a different conversation. Yeah.
It it totally was. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful conversation.
And how are your dragons?
Okay, so listen, I want to talk to you about the dragon
Okay.
situation. So I love first of all, I love them. But okay, so my neurospicy brain started overthinking the dragon thing and was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe I need like one for each thing." And now I'm turning into like Khaleesi, mother of the dragons over here, and I just think that's a lot to manage. And you I was like, maybe I overdid it just a little bit. So question just regard I love the dragon magic. I have noticed things shifting with
Mhm.
them. My question is, so in your book, we talked about this in my session, but also in your book, you talk about dragons and using dragons to help you in various areas of life, which I love. And um, I at first had one. Now there's four. Eh, And I did that feels like a lot to me. So what could I do to maybe stream to make
Okay,
this
what you
work?
could do. Remember, these are fetishes. Fet not tickle your foot fetish, but a
Right,
real living entity we create, like
right.
Tulpa, a servitor, egregore. There's a golem. There's a million words for it in every belief system. So you've created. One dragon can do everything. But honestly, some people like have it depends on the kind of person you are, your mind. Some people want you're my love life dragon and you're my health dragon and you're my money dragon. But I do tell people I have a few just because they like to hang out, but really one main dragon spirit I use. These are like offshoots to help, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So
Yeah.
there's not a right or wrong way to do it, But I do tell people when they're first starting they're powerful energy. They are
Mhm.
crossroads bees. So it's like if somebody who have your first baby, that's a lot of work. The person who has quadruplets the first time out is like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? So you can put all your dragons together into one, or make one the grand poobah dragon and have the others like little assistants. You
So let's
or
say I've got
just put them all into one.
so let's say I've got these 4, and let's just say I want 1. How would I then put them into 1?
Okay. Everything is intent, as we know, and you
Yeah,
breathe life into them to
right.
bring it. I would bring I usually have 2 in front of me, but I don't. Put the bring
Let's just
yeah,
say I have just hypothetical, not saying this is real. It's so real. I've got these, but
they
then
are
I've got
s
but
they
then
are
I've but then I've got
perfect
this.
dragons. So which one is the oh, they're so cute and they're all different.
Aren't they adorable?
They are. So which one would you like to be the dragon with the spirit in it?
I think this one.
Big one. Yeah, the
Yeah,
big one. That's
this
fairly
this one resonates.
so I kill the dragon. No, yeah, yet again, if you're anybody out there, if your dog or eats your dragon, he didn't eat your dragon, he ate the vessel. These are just vessels for spirit. Literally imagine yourself combining those spirits together, like morphing together. I always like ritual and I always like adding breath because that's your pneuma, your prana, your life force. So I would take the little one that you're putting and literally put the two breaths together and put allow the little one to go into the bigger one, the little one to go into the bigger one. And those little ones can be, um, just little toys now, you could toss them, or again, they could be charging stations. It's unlimited to whatever works for you. It's like, "Oh, you're my dragon charging station. You're just a reminder to me. You're not my real dragon." Because that's why a lot of people who have dragon tattoos or dragon jewelry, which I do, they're to remind me that I work dragon. The
Mhm.
little ones you could put around your house to remind me, "Oh, I have a dragon working on this." But it's the big guy that's doing it.
I love that, and I think especially for me, someone who oftentimes has difficulty surrendering and just letting the universe do what it needs to do, working with this in this way has been actually really nice for me just to be like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that. This is something for the dragons to handle. I'm gonna just so
Yeah.
it's been really lovely and they're adorable. But me and my neurospiciness, I tend to do a whole lot of something when I do it.
Well, do you feed them? They're liquid?
Yes, I have the cutest little cup.
A dragon-sized cup.
I
That is
do.
so cute.
I do. And they live in this really cute little altar that a friend of mine gave me. So they have a little
Perfect.
home.
Perfect. So again, if you really wanna get it down to 1, I would do the others as representations, but all those spirits set the little one by the big one, put the spirit in, put your breath back into it, visualize it in your mind that it's literally like just morphing together as one. And
Okay.
then because every day you're gonna tell it what you want. Every day it's like, "I'm tired today, I need energy." Next day it's like, "Well, I need some money, I wanna buy a new car, give me clients." The next day it's like, the world's falling apart, whatever. And you will notice that they drink more when they work harder jobs,
Hmm.
and you just have to have faith and let it go. I've s I've seen dragons change people's lives more than anything else, because we need dragons right now. In our world that has no solid ground, what better than something that can fly through land and sky and water,
I agree.
carry that fire. So yours are very cute. But if it's too much, just it's again, it's like, "Oh my god, I've got a whole litter now."
It feel- I do. I'm a single mom. I'm
Let
I'm a single parent out here with these dragons. So
have them the extra ones, just representation, like, every statue of Jesus isn't Jesus, it's representing Jesus. Every Mother Mary, it's like, "Here's our Hecate statue, here's our Buddha statue." You don't have to have a
I
Buddha for it.
love that. I love that. That's a beautiful way of putting that.
Thank you. So, yes, and they will be very happy. they're your creation. They will be as powerful and big, funny, serious, sweet, sexy as you make them.
I love
Your creation, your fetish.
I love that.
Mhm. So what's next for you? Have any big plans, anything you wanna do in going down to our winter time or next year?
Yeah, a nap. No.
Oh, I've
I no, I'm really excited because we've got the book and then I have some shows coming up around the book, which is really nice. And then um, you know, kind of thinking into next year and just how I want to show up and serve. Probably more live shows next year, but not as many. I did nearly like 45 this year.
a lot.
It was wonderful and such a great learning experience and never again.
Wow.
But it was fun and I learned so much. I learned so much this year just about myself and about, my work and why I do what I do. If anything, it just reaffirmed why I do what I do. But yeah, for now being present with the book and then, I've already started working on a second one because you know how it is. Like when you're creative, you're like, oh, I'm gonna
Very
keep
this
making stuff.
thing. Oh, I think that is beautiful. Well, you guys, if you don't know Travis Holt, you've got to because he's the stuff you put online is amazing. So tell everybody where if they want to follow because again, you teach, you have sessions, you do where can they find you both websites, social media, anything upcoming you have after November 10th?
Yeah, so you can find me at travisholt.com. That's where you can find my readings. That's where you can find my book. That's where you can find live show dates. I have live shows all throughout the end of the year. So that's where you can find me. And then Travis Warrior Unicorn on Instagram and TikTok.
Perfect. And he is a warrior unicorn. He is beautiful.
Thank you, Patty.
So Eddie, before we go, any words of wisdom for anybody to going into
Oh,
holiday or
just, yeah, just like, be kind to yourselves and to other people. I think you know, we're in these very precedented times. I think we hear that phrase every day now, at least I do. And I do believe that for how challenging some of the things are that are happening in the world, that there's also an equal amount of hope and love. We might just have to look a little bit harder for it than we normally have to, but it's there. And I think, there's just a lot that folks are carrying. So just be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. That's at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
thank you. I words of wisdom indeed. Thank you, my friend. You guys check out this beautiful warrior unicorn, Travis Holt. Thank you for bringing your magic to the witching hour.
Thank you, friend.